Working on the 442 today, gonna fit some sport mirrors. So the plan is to get rid of this base mirror, and this car only came with the one, and put on some sport mirrors. I dug through my junk pile, and I found a few of them. You'll notice the two driver sides are identical, and then the passenger side is shaped a little bit different. The mirrors themselves are a little bit different too. I actually got some Burkle glass. It's two different part numbers for left and right. These mirrors, I believe, were all off Cutlasses. Now, I'm thinking the F-body, like a Trans Am or Camaro, is different. And we're gonna take a look at that, see if we can really notice the difference. Now, I do know that the pedestals are different. I know my Firebirds use a setup like this, where this bracket's screwed on, this is on the outside of the door, screwed in through the back. And these just use a stud scheme. So I believe we're going to find a screw on the Firebird on the front to hold the mirror to the door. I'm thinking this plastic, see, it's thinner on one side than the other, puts the mirror at a little bit of an angle. I'm thinking these might be different as well on that Firebird versus a Cutlass, but I'm not sure. And I'm not going to dismantle one of my cars to find out. The light sucks in here, I apologize, but there's the screw. So definitely different pedestal. It's unclear if the heights are the same. The shape of the top looks about the same. I'm on the passenger side now, and the shape of the passenger side looks about the same as well. Not 100% sure, but quite possibly these tops could be changed out with the pedestals in an F-body. And I believe there's a couple different variations of these tops too. This would be like a mid-70s style. Driver's side mirrors are remote control. This one's hardly working. I'm moving this knob around. This is in the door panel. I've noticed that the backs are slightly different too. Looks to me like they both fit in the same, so I'm not too worried about that. Now looking at this, it looks like one set of cables is different than the other, so I probably couldn't switch this base. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the best mirrors I got. I have 5 total, and then take the best 2 and put them on the car. Here's a couple upper door panels. The bottom one, original to the car. It didn't have a remote mirror, so it doesn't have the opening there, like this one here. Kind of a shame that someone drilled that big hole in there like that. Otherwise, it was a pretty nice panel. So I'm going to fit these both in there. I don't have it, but there's a piece of metal that goes here and turns and holds it in place. Seems like either style will work. The next question is the bolt pattern the same? This base is shaped a little bit differently. We'll take it off of there. Way more square than round. Looking pretty promising. Looks like I can get this plastic piece off of here. I'm noticing both of them have a couple pins. This front hole and this hole here for the pins, clearly. And it's looking like it's going to bolt right on there. Now this pins would be to keep this pointing the right direction. If you spin on 180, the thick part would be on the wrong side. It fits in there perfectly. So it looks like same holes for both style mirrors. No drilling required. So it'll probably be tough to see, but I'm seeing 2 plies of metal here. There's like an extra piece in the back of the door that's built into it, probably to help support that mirror. So does the passenger side have it? This door does not appear to have that. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take both the mirrors off the parts car. We'll see if that passenger door has factory-like looking holes and if it has any bracing in it. There's the parts car. Either one of these mirrors might be a viable candidate to go in the other car. I'd put something back on it to keep it whole. Really held on by one stud. Has this type of back, 2-ply setup. Has that extra bracing on the driver's side. Hole looks the same too. See in there, but this does not have any extra bracing. Here's what the holes look like. Not sure if that's original or not. This car may have been a non-mirror type car. So it would appear that this is like the same spacer. And these holes are in the back versus on the front on the driver's side. Whoever cranked it down so tight that they actually pulled out the door skin a little bit there. I think I'll make a pattern of this and see if it matches the other side. At least these two holes. I ended up using more of a cardstock to make a template. The paper is just too flimsy. And I'm lining it up with this edge here. I think it's gonna be pretty close to what it needs to be. So with it lined up, I had my assistant mark the holes with a Sharpie. Just the studs for the mirror. So I'll punch these now, we'll take a look. So here's the template lined up. These holes are right on the money. Double checking this side. That's about where those holes are. Actually, pretty much exactly.
We're gonna take it to the other side. Take it to the other side. Okay, it's over here.
What do you think?
So this one wasn't designed for a mirror. You're gonna make a whole double sheet of metal that reinforces so this doesn't wobble.
Right.
So he's going for it, and I'm really proud of him because I've worked with a lot of people that can measure this stuff 100 times, figure out where it's supposed to go, and then be undecided about popping a hole in the door skin and no guts, no glory. All it is a freaking mirror. If you do screw up, you can move it around, but it's perfect.
Yeah, worst case scenario, if this is way off for some reason, I could just weld these up and drill them somewhere else. So that's looking pretty good so far. I gotta figure out how to lay this gasket in here now, because these two nibs go towards the rear on this side, and I believe the thickness of this is gonna make up for this curvature. So I'm gonna make a template just for drilling these two guys. So I just kind of pushed this into the cardboard, made a couple dimples, drilled them, and that's what I got. So I'm gonna punch these two out and see how it looks. The template, here are the indexing holes for the gasket. I drilled them a hair bit bigger than this so I can have a little bit of play with this gasket. And this gasket is fitting flush on the metal all the way around.
The gasket's thicker at the top, and then because of this seam and there's a curve, the gasket fits right to it, so that when he puts that mirror on there, it's not lifting it up or tilting it down. You can see the base of that gasket is just right to hold the mirror at the right angle.
I don't think these cars came with remotely adjustable passenger side mirrors. I could be mistaken, however. I can't believe I did this, but in an attempt to get that bracket for the passenger door, I bought another set of Cutlass doors. I got a fair deal on them, so I don't know. Hopefully that bracket's in this door, because I've just noticed that the sport mirror is a different color than the door. So mirror probably not original to the door. This looks to me to be a Cutlass Supreme door panel. So let's take this off here and see what we got. So there is a brace in there, but it's not exactly what I was expecting. See if I can take it out of there just by undoing the two bolts. See how it looks. I'm seeing a rivet. I'm thinking this piece was probably added. I drill that rivet out. I don't think the factory would do that nonsense. Looks like some sort of production piece, possibly aftermarket. I don't know. At least it's some sort of support back there. This door seems to be straight yet. The holes match up pretty good with my pattern, but maybe a 1/4 inch farther back. Most likely added. I wonder how the driver's side piece would line up in the passenger side door. I'm thinking it'd probably be pretty close. This side here has a whole enchilada. I'm gonna take it out of there. I think I'm gonna drill some welds out back here. So this piece is screwed in Phillips right here. Probably a couple more all the way down. There's one right there. Don't know if you can see it through the glass. Probably gonna have to take the glass out to get this done. Good refresher. This door was in a horse barn. Now I'll try to get all the screws out and get this weather stripping off of here. Just had 3 little dinky screws holding it. And these little slots here, looks like it could have had up to maybe 5 screws holding it. So here are the upper 2 tangs of that piece. I can see the spot welds. I don't know if the base of it's connected to this piece right here or not. I'm thinking even if this driver's side doesn't fit, I'm gonna make it fit. Alright, it's free from the top lip. So the question is it attached anywhere else? There it is. Pretty much came right out. I think there might have been one more tack weld right here, but I was able to snap it off without screwing up the door. And I'm going to notch my passenger door as such. And see if we can fit the piece. Here's what I came up with. I kind of angled these in a little bit, like the factory. Actually had slightly different measurements between the 2 doors. Driver's door of this car and the driver's door of the donor car there. I'm gonna do this with a Dremel tool too so I can get in there. I'm trying to be careful here not to contact the outside of the door. With the door skin. When I'm welding I might just touch this up with a bit of weld. Grind it flat. So I got the piece up in there and it basically clicked right into place. I can see that the metal's right where it needs to be. It's right up on the door skin. There's no gap there. Furthermore, I don't need to drill the other 2 holes because it's already done so. I'm thinking this is probably a universal piece for driver's door and passenger door. Here's the mirror bolted on with that bracket in place. Man, I'm liking that. That's way better than that other thing. I'm thinking that other thing had to be aftermarket. So I'm gonna take it apart, clean up the inside of the door and this bracket where the glue's gonna go, clean up where it's gonna be welded, put the mirror back on, put a welding cloth over it, and then weld this up. I'll show the finished product in a subsequent video because I'd like to get a video out at this point. It's gonna be a brick shit house. I gotta figure out which one of these to use now. Looks like there's possibly a date code there or something. I think that Burco glass marking is a little bit different, but that's how it's gonna be because, I mean, this glass is shot. The Burco part numbers on the bottom there. Housings look like they're about in the same shape. So I've never taken one of these apart before. I'm gonna go ahead and take that mirror apart, see what we got in there. A couple Phillips. Oh, those are not wanting to come out. Looks like this new mirror is ready to cooperate on coming apart. So a couple Phillips in here. I've never taken a mirror apart before. I'm curious what the inside looks like. Pretty sure we'll get a superior. Oh boy. Superior paint job if this baby's disassembled. Looks like those screws go right into this base here. It's like there's a ball in the middle. It's supposed to go left and right, up and down. So out of all these mirrors, I'm sure I'd get something to work pretty good. Should protect this glass in case it's any good. Here's a look inside of it. And you can tell it was painted, disassembled. I was trying to get this passenger side one apart. I got it apart, but it's kind of hot. I had a torch on there. I snapped both the screws off. I mean, that thing wasn't coming apart. Just gotta figure out how to get these broken bolts off now. Just a quick update. The hood is in high build. Both the fenders are in high build. Our blinker housings are in high build. Hopefully those come out with just one coat of that. Then our nose piece needs a touch more body work.
Well, after the heavy primer, I knocked it down with the 240, and then put this guide coat of black on here, and I'm gonna go at it with 400. Let's see if we got any little valleys. It should be pretty straight now.
We're working away in this stuff. Another coat of primer, another coat of high build on that hood. I think that's gonna be the last coat. So